If you're looking to add purposeful progress to your life, then this episode is for you. If you want to stop letting your days slip away and start leading your life with intention and purpose to pursue your full potential, then you're in the right place, my friend. Welcome to the Claim Your Day podcast. I'm your host, Nick Mazey. Here, we stop just managing our demanding lives and begin to actively pursue our best lives, rooted in our values and purpose. Each week, we'll discuss practical strategies focused on becoming intentional with all that we do so we can live and lead well. Together, let's make today count. Hello, my friend, and welcome. Welcome to episode 59 of the Claim Your Day podcast. Glad you're here and joining in. In the last episode, we were talking about how we need to be intentional so that we can guide our lives to go where we want them to go. How to avoid this trap of all or nothing or these grand gestures. And we started to talk about how we can build in these 5-minute momentum builders. That's what we're talking about in the last episode. We're going to talk about more about 5-minute momentum builders in this episode, and then one last one for this short series coming up in the next episode. But today, as I mentioned in the very beginning, you want to make purposeful progress. How can you do that when you're so busy with everything else in your life? When you're taking care of your family, your job, your things that you got to do at home, caring for yourself. How can you just add something more? Well, like we talked about in the last episode, you've got to be intentional with what you do. And then today we're diving into just the power of consistency. So it really does align with the last episode, and it will connect with the next one too in this series. But today we want to be thinking all about consistency and the amazing power of how consistency compounds. Before we dive in too much more, quick reminder, you can go to nickmazey.com. You can listen to episodes there. You can get other resources. I have an intentional choice guide up on the website, and it's designed to help you zero in on your top values for your life. You know, what's most important to you, and prioritize those top ones so that you can be intentional with the choices that you make throughout your days, so that you can live out your values in a way that resonates most with you, your family, and what's most important to you. So visit nickmazey.com. Make sure you get that resource. Like I said, you can listen to podcast episodes there as well. Let's dive in to today's episode. So, how are you going to build this next habit that's going to help you to have that progress that you want? That's going to help you with your consistency in your life so that it can compound, so that you can have the growth in the areas that are most important to you and ultimately be able to live the life that you want to live. How can you have that consistency with these new habits when you don't have just tons of extra time? Or we're going to get really just basic with this, but I'm going to go ahead and let you know that just because what we're going to share is we'll say it is simple, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy or that it doesn't have value. It's the simple things that we do on a regular basis that really is going to make the biggest impact. That's because it's going to be consistent, and it's going to help us to develop the discipline in our lives so that we really can be doing what we want to do. If you don't have the discipline to do it, to follow through on it, then you're not going to be able to make that consistent progress. You know, consistency, it's taking those small steps over time. That's going to lead you to the distance that you want to go. But the discipline and being able to maintain and stay on that same path, it's going to help the path to get there to be a little bit straighter and a little less zigzagging all over the place. Look, if you have no free time, but you still want to make a change in your life, I want to tell you that there is hope. There is hope. And it's not about just adding so many new things that you feel overwhelmed. It's about getting really simple and taking one of the key lessons from the last episode and starting really small. Because those small steps, they can help you to make a little bit of progress and are going to help you to move forward. So if you didn't listen to the last episode, make sure you go back and check it out because it is all about these 5-minute momentum builders and how that you don't have to have this grand, huge gesture in order for it to be valuable and help you to move forward toward the life that you want. So today we're going to talk about how to insert a new small habit without leading to you feeling overwhelmed. And before we say that you don't have time, let's really just explore how this could be possible. So bear with me for just 1 minute. Hey, now, the first key point for this episode, it's all about how you can make this possible without rearranging your whole schedule so that you can develop the habits that are most important for you and impactful for you. And this first concept, it's just habit stacking. And this is where we link one new habit to an older habit. And it really makes it so that this is the path of least resistance. We're dealing with ourselves. We're humans, and we get into these habits, these routines. You might call it a rut, depending upon what it is. And so we get in these habits, and we don't want to go trying to shift everything all at once. Depending upon the situation, sometimes that is valuable. Like if you're talking about addictions and substance abuse, then yes, sometimes you need to cut out everything all at once. There's some other areas too. At the same time, it often it can be very beneficial to just make one small tweak. Because if you already have a routine and behavior that you're doing, if you make one small tweak, one small positive improvement, this can be easier for you to maintain that. Look, this concept of habit stacking and linking one new positive habit to with an older one that we're already doing, and how that's a little bit easier path. This is nothing new. It's been around for a very long time. Especially when you talk into some behavior modification and psychology. It's been around for a very long time. Well, all it really is think about one thing, one action, one habit you already have triggering another. And really, it's a great way of building the success that you want, because you're just adding on to what is already there. It's like one thing's already working, it's already happening. Great. We're talking about adding a small little adjustment or addition to it. That way, you're more likely to do what you want to do. It's just about tricking the body to do it. So we want to find simple ways to make what's going to be difficult, because discipline's difficult. All right, it is. But it's worth it. It's one of those things, everything worthwhile is uphill all the way, like John Maxwell says. The discipline that you're going to create by stacking your habits, it can be challenging, but it's worth it. And when we do it in the right way, it makes it so it's a little bit less challenging, a little bit easier to do. So we're going to look at stacking these habits. Now, to do this, the next main point for this episode is you just have to think about identifying an anchor habit. So this is something that you do already. What's something that you do pretty much every single day? And this is what we're going to attach the new habit to. It could be something like making coffee. For me, say taking a shower in the morning, and this is what's going to trigger the next thing that you're going to do. Right? So these trigger events are amazing because they're already consistent, and what we want to do is we want to add in add consistency to the things we're trying to add in. That we want to use this power of consistency. So if you're already doing something over and over, if you're already doing something on a daily basis, then it's pretty much a routine, then don't try create a new routine. Instead, just adjust the routine you already have, and it's going to make it easier for you to maintain. It's going to make it easier for you to develop the discipline in that area because you're already doing something. We're just going to adjust it a little bit rather than make it a massive shift. We want to steal that power of consistency and use it in a good way for the things that you want to accomplish. It's every time I talk about consistency, I always think about how John Maxwell would say that all his success and impact is really due to just him being consistent. In fact, he would joke around when people talk about how he got so successful and had this great impact and was able to connect with and all these people. And he just said, "Look, I am just so boring successful." He's like, people ask, "Well, I want to spend the day with you." And he's like, "You don't want to spend the day with me. It is incredibly boring. All I do is my routine every single day." And something can be said about that. He's been so consistent that he's been able to grow in the areas that are important to him, to have the impact that he wants to have. And it's all about just being really consistent, which some people can see that as boring. So we already have the two main points. And basically it's the concept of habit stacking, how we're going to we're going to link one new habit with something that you're already doing. And by doing this, it makes it a lot easier to maintain it. We're going to identify the anchor habit, or that first habit that we're going to attach our new habit to. That's all we've done so far. And then the third point is just really having a very practical formula for it. And you can have a simple statement. After I blank, after I do blank, whatever that is, I will blank, the new habit. It's really as simple as, after I pour my morning coffee at work, I will make 3 sales calls. If that's for you, great. Or for me, after I finish dinner with my family, I will help pick up the house with my family. It's one of the things that we're trying to do more of, and how we're going to do it is after we finish dinner, everybody's going to help pick up around the house, do the dishes, just a few minutes of all doing it together. But it's hard to have that routine unless we have a specific statement, a formula for how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, after what we're going to do it, and where we're going to do it. It's really, really simple. But when you get clear on that statement or that formula, then it's going to help you to maintain it, because we're going to attach it to something we're already going to do. We're definitely going to eat dinner. For me personally, this might be for you. It might not be. That's okay. I'm getting back in the habit, or I'm not going to say I'm trying. I have developed the habit of reading my Bible every day. And so with that, in the morning, I get cleaned up. I come upstairs, start working on some of my stuff. Well, my trigger is, as soon as I get upstairs in the morning, I read the Bible. Not for hours or anything like that. A few minutes, little section. But if I do that, if I know that that's the first thing I do when I get upstairs, like that's the first thing I did when I got upstairs this morning before I started recording this podcast episode. And so by having that routine, I was always coming upstairs anyways. Great. So now I'm going to do the new habit that I'm developing. It's as simple as that. Now, interestingly, my Saturdays and Sunday mornings are different. I have a different routine. But the fact that I've been so consistent for Monday through Friday, and now this has been going on for a couple months. So now that I've been so consistent on Monday through Friday, I've already got that habit down. And now it's easier for me to I need a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, I'm going to go ahead and read my Bible. This applies to any habit that you're really trying to develop. The more consistent you can be with it, the more it's going to help you to be consistent when things are different. So that way you don't get thrown off track. You can apply this to a lot of areas. Maybe the examples that I gave resonate with you. Maybe they don't. That's okay. But you see what I'm saying? When you can stack one small habit or behavior on top of something you already do on a regular basis, have that habit or that routine that you already have that be the trigger. Have that trigger the next thing that you want to do. Make a statement that is declaring exactly how that's going to go from one to the next, and then own that statement. That way, hey, after you brush your teeth, you're going to drink a glass of water, whatever it is. As soon as you wake up and get out of bed, you're going to do 10 push-ups. When you're trying to make progress in a certain area, those are just drinking water and exercising. When you're trying to make progress in a certain area, think about the last episode. Think about the last episode where we talked about having just small things that you can do. They don't have to be these grand gestures. The small things that you're intentional about are going to help you to make a little bit of progress going in that direction. Then when you're doing that, you're going to attach it to a routine that you're already doing. And that way you're going to be able to develop the consistency that you need to make progress in that area over time. And there's something just really powerful about a little bit of progress is it develops momentum. This whole podcast episode is not about momentum. but you might hear it called the Big Mo. Look, there's so much power in developing that momentum. All you need is those small steps done over time consistently. It's going to help you to develop momentum. Once you have a little bit of a momentum and some progress, it'll help you to take bigger steps. It'll help you to take bigger steps. So you're not going to be stuck in these tiny steps all forever, but making a little bit of progress with some intentionality and consistency, it's going to give you some of those results and those benefits that you need to make more progress. And that's what I want for you and your life, your family, and what's most important to you is to make the progress in the areas of life that's most important. That's awesome. All right. So here's your main takeaway, your action step for this episode. Your action step for this episode is identify one strong anchor habit. Just something a part of your daily routine. Identify that component of your routine, that habit you're already doing, and then write down what you're going to do, that new habit, that what you're going to adjust or add to it. Just something really, really small. So you're going to identify that anchor habit, and then you're going to identify what habit are you going to attach to it. That anchor habit, that routine you're already doing, what will that trigger? That new 5-minute habit. And it doesn't even need to take 5 minutes. Something really small so that you can make a little bit of progress in the area of life that's important to you. It's going to help you to be intentional when you stack these habits together and develop the routines and for your life that you truly want for what's most important to you. All right. You on board, my friend? Identify that anchor habit for your routine. Set that new one. Make some progress. This is your life. Make it the best that it can be. You're going to, by identifying what's most important to you in your life, your family, those true values, and then being intentional with how you spend your choices. And these small habits and routine, they're a part of your choices that you're making. That you're spending choices every day, even on the routines that you have. It's sneaky how routines can just kind of get you into a rut. But you know what? When you're intentional, those routines can actually guide you to the life that you want to live. That discipline is going to lead you to what you want. All right, my friend. Well, thank you for listening to the Claim Your Day podcast. Hope you got some value out of it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you share this podcast with someone so they can get some value out of it too. As always, you can check out nickmazy.com for more resources and listen to podcasts and all that stuff there. And I can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode where we're going to wrap up this short series on these 5-minute momentum builders. All right, my friend. Take care.